Hello, everybody, and welcome to a loading screen. Also, welcome to Massively Overpowered's OPTV. It is outstanding to have you. My name is Chris, otherwise known as Wolfie. Thank you so very much for joining me, because today we have a bit of a sad stream this time around. And not just because I'm stuck in a loading screen. It's because this is the final day of Magic Legends, the ARPG from Cryptic that just never really got off of the ground. And today I am joined by an extremely special guest, someone who has much more knowledge about this game than I do. I am joined by our own Tyler FM Edwards. Tyler, how are you?
All right. Hello, everyone.
Thank you so very much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. You played this game to the point where you said you had 8 builds put together?
Yes. 8 decks.
That's way more than the one I have. So I'm hoping if this instance will ever load in that I'll be able to kind of join Tyler in this thing that I was trying to get done. Hey, thank you very much for the host, Welsh Fox. Much appreciated. Release the Halloween birthday balloons. Yes. It is Merry Spookmas to everybody. Thank you so very much also for the subscription for 3 months, Welsh Fox. That is extremely generous of you. Thank you so very much for that. Okay, so, oh goodness, and the alerts keep on coming. Crasher, again with the host, thank you so very much for that. So, anyway, Tyler, you have, like I said, you played this game way more than I have. So what are your feelings about how this all shook down? Like this game shut down. What are you feeling right now?
I get why it failed. I've played a lot of games that didn't survive, and I'm usually angry about it. I usually feel like they weren't given a fair shot by the community or weren't appreciated. This one, I get why people didn't jive with it. It's broken. This game is completely and utterly broken. Like before we went live, we had to deal with like 3 crashes and all kinds of jank just in that time alone. It fundamentally doesn't work.
Yeah, and as literally illustrating that, I'm still loading. I have not gotten into the instance I queued for. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm getting the feeling you probably like crashed and probably
I
are not going to
probably
load in
have.
based on my experience.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so in that case, let me go ahead and shut that down and try that again, shall we? But anyway, so how much time did you spend playing the game overall, though?
I don't have like a number count on it. I don't think this has a played command. I played pretty heavily for about a month after it went live and then kind of off and on after that. I got to max level on like 3 classes. I never quite got to the highest difficulty level, but I got to the second highest. Completed all the content, which really there wasn't very much of that, but so I think I played it, pretty extensively, not complete expert.
Well, that sounds, yeah, that sounds way more in depth than I think most would have. Certainly me, that's for sure. As you could tell, I never really got out of the starting zone. Oh, hey, there we go. I reloaded the game and I got into the to the instance I was looking for. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the one technical thing this game actually does well is they're really good at like getting you back where you were if you crash, which is good because you crash a lot.
Yeah. All right, so we'll actually be able to see some action now, I think, maybe.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try to change. I'm hoovering up all the goodies that I have no business getting or earning.
Game's almost over.
Oh,
Level
cool. Super good. Okay, so what is this build that you're running right now?
So officially this build is called Funeral Pyre. That's what I named it in my deck manager. Also known as the Exploding Zombies build.
Nice.
The engine of it is 3 enchantments that basically buff up everything when I summon it, but also causes them to die a few seconds after I summon them, or like 15 seconds.
Wow.
And also, I forget whether it's a card or an ability, but everything deals AoE damage when it dies, and also when it's summoned. And I have a whole bunch of things that sacrifice people, so it's just like a constant, massive swarm of zombies that are on fire and explode. It's hilarious, and I love it.
That sounds great. I have to say, like, and you did mention this too, and even just the way you described that, it definitely seems like the deck building aspect is the most interesting part of this whole game.
Easily, yeah. Like, technically this game is a mess, but I will die on the hill that they had really good design concepts. The deck building was fantastic. It's really the only problems with the game, in my view, are it didn't have nearly enough content, and it literally doesn't work. It is a broken mess. But aside from that, it really is great.
I kind of like the fact that this is an ARPG that has the good sense to let me use WASD to move as opposed to click to move.
Yeah, I took some getting used to, but I came to appreciate that.
I don't know. I'm just a huge hater of click to move. But anyway, so maybe we'll get to see a couple of your other builds. But which one is your most favorite? I mean, I assume this is. I mean, the exploding, burning zombies sounds like a good time, but.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. The one I played the most was a black and green deck. I convinced myself that it had some sort of like backstory rooted in magic lore and the backstory of my character, but really I just kind of put all of my favorite fantasy stuff in a blender. It's a lot of elf summons, a lot of zombies and necromancy, and a lot of debuffs mostly.
Nice.
Sort of like a cycle of life and death.
Ah, okay.
Concept, because I also have some like green healing spells in it, so.
That's cool. I never actually considered, actual character ideas in terms of deck building. That's really clever. I like that.
Yeah, I've always got to have a backstory for everything. I never role play with other players, but I always have like backstories and character concepts for the characters I play.
Oh yeah, no, I do too. It's just this game I never really hooked me long enough to actually try to dig into it, and also like the lore of Magic Gathering itself is just it's a mess. I think I could be wrong.
There's a lot there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's very in depth to say the least. I think I stopped paying attention. Well, I stopped playing the card game. I forget the name of the expansion, but it was the one that was all about planeswalking and airships and stuff like that. I forget the name of it. But
yeah, I haven't played the card game much. I played in elementary school, and then that's pretty much been it up until recently. I've dabbled like with Arena a bit, but I read up on some of the lore prior to the release of Magic Legends because I was pretty hyped for this game, and I've read up on some of the settings that got adapted for D&D. Like I love the D&D book in Theros. God, I want to do a Theros campaign at some point.
Yeah, that source book looks incredible. Who disturbs my slumber, says Toaster Master, with a resub for 10 months. My goodness, thank you so very much for that support. That is outstanding. Thank you very much for that generosity. And thank you very much for joining us as well. Yes, mouse controls. Oh, no, correction. Don't worry. There are no mouse controls in this game. This has WASD movement, and the cursor is where I aim my skills. It's so much better. It feels so much better. And I played.
It's funny because I remember Dungeon Siege 3 catching hell for using WASD in a ARPG setting. I guess it depends on the crowd.
I guess I never got used to it. I never liked it. I don't know. And I've played a bunch of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Like that had plenty of click to move, but I don't know. It's always been really, really awkward for me. So you mentioned being hyped for this game. So I mean, besides the game being, I assume just the fact that it was buggy kind of was a big letdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I still got quite a lot of fun out of this game. Like, it's frustrating all the things that are wrong with it, but if it had continued, I would have kept playing.
Yeah, I really want to. I really do feel like there's incredible potential for this game to have survived. Like I will admit that the randomness of the spells coming up, I get why they did it, right? Because of the source material, but I kind of feel like it would have been better if you would have had a little more leeway as to what spells were active or not.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, or?
I have mixed feelings. When I first started playing, I felt the same way. I really didn't like it. As I played more, the thing is, like, what's the alternative is the problem. Like, either you greatly limit the number of cards you have in your deck, which really cuts down on the deck building, or you have 12 cards up on your screen up at once, which is, a lot of button bloat for this genre of game. It's kind of like the least worst solution, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, I suppose. I mean, and they didn't really do themselves a lot of favors with trying to focus on the card game aspect as opposed to just the setting in the world. So that sort of created its own problems, I think.
Yeah, I do think that this was pretty late, but once they implemented the change that you won't draw creature cards if the creature is already active, I think that did a lot to solve the problem of the random draws, personally.
I kind of get the impression I had no idea what the heck I'm doing with my card selection, but then again, I didn't have a whole lot of options at this level either. Only like level 2. I didn't see a whole lot of card drops either, so my choices were kind of thin.
Yeah, it opens up very quickly, especially with the changes they made. Like, you should have like enough for 2 or 3 decks by the time you finish the tutorial at this point, I think.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't think I ever got out of the tutorial, clearly. So,
Yeah, if you were on the step for Hedron Rush, that's like really early.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you coming along with my little noobish self. It looks like we are not in the same instance again, which is sad. But then again, we also discovered that we can't actually meet one another until I do complete this tutorial bit, which that's a decision. One of many weird decisions this game has made, I think, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
So I'll do my best to try to keep things entertaining for you all, even though Tyler has way more experience. Now to that point of experience, having gone through the endgame that frequently, I mean, you did mention that one of the bigger problems was that it just didn't have a lot of content. But I mean, besides that, was there anything else you think would have maybe helped this game out?
I mean, I really do think the biggest problems are just the lack of content and the bugs. I really think it needed more development time, and not like a little more development time, like a lot.
Right.
It needed to come out like a year later, I think, and have like twice as much content and much more bugs fixes. If it had done that, I think it would have done okay, because for the first couple of weeks, this game was really hopping. The population was really high, and it seemed like it was thriving, and then it just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, it did seem just sort of like to kind of... It did... Yeah, you're right. I did get the impression it just sort of fell off of the radar, which is weird. I kind of... It seemed like they were, pushing it pretty hard for a little while, and then they just decided to try to ignore the fact that this game existed. It's very odd. Very, very perfect world.
At the risk of falling into the trope of, blaming the publishers for everything, I kind of get the feel like Wizards was, like, not happy with the state of the game and kind of killed it because they saw it as a PR disaster, but pure speculation on my part.
That's not a bad conclusion to leap, though. I mean, they're super protective of their IPs anyway. I mean...
Yeah, and Cryptic doesn't kill games. Like, Champions Online is still running.
Yeah, they don't. I feel like they would have given this game a chance. Why is this not working now? Like, this quest step does not work. Okay. This game is ending today. Yes, yes, this is the absolute last day this game is a live crasher. They actually were going to shut it down today, like the day of today, but they decided to keep it open for one more day and shut it down on the first. A lot of games do that, but then the tutorial is extremely long, especially before they shorten it. Yeah, yeah, and also it's broken because now I can't progress. I am soft locked.
What's your objective currently?
To fast travel to Briarthorn, which I did a couple of times now.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a problem.
that's a problem. I don't know why this isn't working. It's I'll try it again, but it's not gonna fix anything. Oh man, I kind of hate having to see this game close out in the state it is. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
not to pick at a scab or anything, but that's I I try to focus on the positives, and this game has a lot of positives. Like the combat feels really really good, even with the randomness of the card draw thing, which takes some getting used to.
Hmm. Yeah, they really captured like just the the awesome power of being the planeswalker. Because yeah, your spells are just some of them are just godly. Like there's that tornado spell from blue that just like completely sweeps the entire screen clean, and
That's awesome, and I can summon a fire breathing lizard friend. Like, that sound that thing makes is incredible. Like it's the sound design and the graphics are insane in this game. They really are.
yeah. Also, something else that didn't get talked about nearly enough is how awesome the soundtrack is in this game. I love the music.
I never actually paid attention to that. So proving your point, I never really actually noticed the soundtrack in this game. That's. Then again, I never really got far enough to hear some tunes that really stuck out. So I assume you have way more experience in that than I do.
Yeah. Depends on the map. A lot of them are just, ambient background tracks, but there's definitely some good ones there. And I love the the login screen music. It's great.
The card draw isn't really random once you have more cards. You can hedge your odds and manage your draws, says Hikari. So I'm guessing that's kind of your experience as well, since you mentioned being able to come summon burning, exploding zombies.
Yeah, like I think the trick is just to like not have any dead cards in your build. Like make sure it's all useful.
Dead cards, like in terms of.
It's just stuff that's like too niche, like that's only going to be useful some of the time. Make sure every card is something you want to have up pretty much all the time.
Ah, okay. So not a whole lot of situational stuff.
Yeah, yeah, some stuff's just like a little too niche. Like healing spells don't really see a lot of use because like you only need them part of the time, and there's health globes and.
Gotcha. Yeah, Hikari agrees with you. Everything you draw should be playable immediately, and yeah, I guess maybe that's one thing about the combat that because I didn't have a whole lot of cards that really didn't hook me because it always felt like you just sort of smash every button that's like it's the moment it gets off of global cooldown, so to speak. It didn't really feel too in depth, so I never really got to dig in.
You can play it that way. It doesn't have to be that way. I usually it's a mix for me. Like there's some cards out there that are just basic damage cards that I'll always use right away, and you always kind of want to have at least one like empty, refilling slot on your bar, so you're getting the engine of card draw constantly.
Right.
But there's some that are like more, situational, or you want to save for like a big hit that you want to kind of save up. I did find that it's actually pretty tactical as you get farther into it.
Oh, that's
Again,
cool.
depending on your deck.
Sure. And I really enjoyed the Necromancer quite a bit. Like, this is one of the few games, a few MMOs, frankly, that, the pet AI didn't feel completely inept. You know what I mean? Like, was that your experience too? I guess.
Yeah, it's not particularly smart, but like this kind of goes back to like that column I did about pet classes in ARPGs. Like there's so many targets and so much chaos that like the pets are always doing something. Yeah. Even if they're not like being super intelligent, they're always contributing somehow, even if it's just blocking shots or something.
That makes sense. And again, the visual effects in this game are incredible. I mean, you can summon a dragon friend from the very off, which is feels like it's something you would only be able to do at much later levels, not level 3 or level 4.
Yeah. Oh, I have a card for one of those. Did you have the, what is it called? I think it's just Dragon's Breath or something, but like just calls down a dragon to cover the entire battlefield in fire. God, that spell's incredible. Yeah, bathe in dragon fire is the spell.
I have that in my deck. It's so cool. Like you really do feel like a god on the earth. It's the spell effects are astonishing.
If you're still soft locked, something we can try is maybe just running instances, so at least we're do something together.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's
you
just
should
not
have
working.
access to at least some. This might not work, but we could also try passing the party lead to me and see if I can like boost you into later instances. I don't know if that'll work, but we can try.
All right, well, let's give it a shot. I've promoted you, so we'll see if oh, hello. Friends have summoned themselves.
Okay, so I always like the Benalia story instances, so let's see if we can do that.
All right.
I'm also playing on hard because otherwise I'm just gonna melt everything. I mean, I'll still melt everything, but I'm now using my main build that I was talking about, the green and black one. So this one's pretty advanced.
Okay, well, I'll try not to get in your way too much, but I have a feeling I am just going to be carried, which is fine. This is for demonstrative purposes more than anything else. We're saying goodbye to this game. We're not trying to be, extreme endgame runners or anything like that, or at least I'm not.
Yeah. Did you get the prompt?
I have been teleported and I'm loading. We'll see if it actually loads in or not.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. I'll just wait for you.
It's a start. Appreciate it. And if it doesn't work out, like if I'll not leave us hanging in a loading screen and see if I can just close it down and start again.
Yeah, because that worked last time. So.
Some builds are more minion heavy than others, but a lot of the power of the minions comes in the on summon / on death properties. That would make sense, definitely. And like the way they arrive in a humongous burst of flame or whatever, that's always cool. And happy birthday, Crasher! Thank you very much for the digital birthday cake slice. Happy birthday to you, friend. I have a feeling it's going to crash on me again. It's in the process of patching file. That's always been a thing with cryptic games. Like it patches files as you play, which is a very, very, very weird thing. It does it with Star Trek Online too. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, I think the Secret World did that too, and it also had awful load screens.
You can set it to not do that. Yes, I know you could do that for STO, but I couldn't work it out for this game. All right, let me close it out and see if I can. Let's see if maybe it's on the launcher itself. Maybe that's where it is. It's probably on the launcher. I think it was on the launcher for STO. So if I had to guess, it's probably on the Magic Legends launcher too. Sorry about that. I'll try to get back in as soon as I can.
Yeah, no worries. Much as it pains me to say it, I did expect the stream was probably going to be like this.
There we go. Force verify. That's what I want. I do not want on-demand patching. I was doodled down to the whole game. Ah, crap. Yeah, you got a point. Well... let's see, does it work? Okay. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a thing. I had really genuinely forgotten how busted this game technically was, that's for sure. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. I'm loading into Benalia now, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I've got you back in my... Yeah, there you are.
Hey, there we go. Skadoosh. Yay! Alright. So, I'll be right behind you.
My soldiers, all dead. Sarah's song carried them lovingly into her light. An ambush! They seek to bury us beneath.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yes, you'll get a defense buff if you stand in that,
Okay.
and it does damage to enemies.
Got it. Is it just me, or is everybody just kind of standing around?
Well, they're zombies. Known for their tactical acumen.
No, I suppose not.
The village. I fear Seven Sisters is truly lost.
Sorry, I was stuck smacking a zombie that just gave absolutely no care whatsoever.
Yeah. They just keep respawning in these instances generally, so you mostly just run through to the objective.
Gotcha.
Also, yeah, the AI seems busted.
Everything seems yeah, they're all just standing around.
This is a new one even for me. I have not seen this bug before.
That's incredible.
Yeah, even by Magic Legends standards, it's more busted than usual today. This is a new one.
Oh no. Oh, I feel so bad. I shouldn't be laughing, but I am. I'm sorry. Oh, was that your friend? Hello.
Yes, I've got a whole posse of elves following me with this build.
Nice. Well, they would follow you if the AI was working.
Oh god, it's working. It's our creatures too.
Yep,
Oh,
it's nothing you summon will work. Game shut down November 1st. AI shut down October 31st. Yeah, that's about right. The zombies are just gonna chill there. Just watch them. They're just gonna conga line for a bit. There we go.
They're
Yep.
using those pillars to turn their cultists into monsters. I will not let this stand.
Don't feel bad about it, fella. They're just gonna hang out. They're vibing. It's fine.
Family into mindless soldiers for their army.
Oh, it's patching. Yes, it's got to patch
They have
itself.
disturbed the grave of Harold Capuchin. But why?
I guess the NPCs heard they're out of a job tomorrow and just gave up on life.
Yeah, they're just watching the clock tick at this point. Oh man. Oh, that's so sad. That is super sad. Well, I mean, at least you have free reign to show off your abilities, and they, I don't know, the ones that don't involve summon, such as they are.
Yeah.
Sarah, save us.
I suspect that you have a lot of abilities that are all about summons.
Yeah, but this one is less summon heavy than my other builds, I
Okay.
guess, than some of them. Although I have one that has like hardly any summons. My white and red build that's like a Benelish Knight. I think I have a few angel spells, but mostly it's just like about tanking and wrecking people.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's the point. I mean, did you do a lot of group content when you were playing regularly?
Early on, yeah, it got harder to find groups as the population crashed, but I definitely think I did more grouping and socializing in this game than I have in any other MMO in quite a long time, actually.
So
They made it really easy to find groups.
So what kind of builds did you usually run, or were you like roles, I should say?
This game isn't really big on like Trinity stuff, so it was mostly just, the regular builds.
Okay.
I did kind of tank-ish. That's really the only like dedicated, Trinity role there is other than damage is tank. I tanked a bit on my, the white and red build I was talking about. You could do a healer, but I don't think this game really supports full healing builds. Like, you can do it, there's enough cards for it, but it's just not very optimal.
It doesn't.
You're better off just doing damage and having a few heals.
Yeah, it does seem like this game is mostly about burning things down as fast as possible. Like
Pretty much, yeah.
As I say that, I summon a giant dragon flame. Oh, that spell is so cool.
squad. I cannot let them die in vain.
Oops, I lost track of where you are. My bad. There you are. Hello. Goodness, that's... Man, that one shot. Nothing feels better than an ARPG than a good giant one shot.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have roles, so everyone is generally responsible for their area of the map. So you have to be self-sufficient. That makes sense. I guess it's less about roles and more about the creativity of the DPS build you come up with.
They are burning the fields
Yeah,
up ahead.
I'd say so. You can definitely get creative there, that's for sure.
So that does bring up a point. I mean, this game does seem pretty unique in that regard. I don't suppose, having played this game as much as you have, there's any other, like, games that are close to what this game was bringing in terms of, you know, how it felt and how it played?
Not this exact combo. Like, the build system is really similar to original Secret World, which is also defunct. There's, yeah, I don't know of, like, an ARPG that has this particular kind of building. Like, Wolfson has really good build system, but it's not the same kind of thing.
Right.
It's more like, you know, they took like the best parts of Diablo 3 and Path of Exile and combined them, which is really cool, but it just doesn't scratch quite the same itch as Magic Legends, I'd say.
That is a real shame. I was kind of hoping that anybody who's watching who was hoping to maybe find a different home would have some sort of analog. That's sad to know. Of the entire Cryptic catalog, Champions is the only one where healing hasn't been obsoleted by DPS. I don't play a lot of ARPGs, but I have to say, this one, it's got some neat little hooks to it. Why do I keep on summoning that dragon? I know it's just going to stand there. We're just going to leave that guy hang out. That's fine. This is an incredible looking location, though. Like, it's...
Yeah, it's a very pretty game in general, and Benalia was definitely, I think, like the crown jewel of this game.
How so?
Well, graphically mainly, but I also like the story instances feel a bit more polished and had like, you know, sort of a more cinematic feel. Just Benalia in general just felt like more polished than the rest of the game.
Gotcha. Oops, ow, ow. Well, the one of all the enemies to actually decide to do something other than stand there and take a beating, it's got to be the boss monster, right?
Yeah.
That's just as well, honestly. I'll stand in this green stinky whirlwind. Oh, never mind, there it goes. Friend! Oh. So it's immune, so I assume we have to kill the ads then.
Yeah, the ones that are linked to her, they'll well, they're supposed to walk towards her and then get sacrificed and buffer or something, but of course they're not moving there. So.
Parts 042, thank you so very much for the Prime Gaming subscription. That is incredibly generous, seriously. You could have used that anywhere else, so you decided to drop it on us. Thank you so very much. That is outstanding of you. Oops, I walked backwards into her giant line of hurdy. I really did play this nearly every day. I typically run when another color, I'm sorry, particularly run white and another color. I got to level 134. Didn't quite get all the base classes maxed out. Wow, that's still a lot. That is, I don't know, what was the max in this game, or was there a max? There had to be a cap, right?
It was like 300 and something.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, like no, it was not really meant to be finished. It was one of those like infinite progression things.
gotcha. Right, right. Once the population fell off, it became much harder to get teams in a
I
level.
have what I came for. The mighty Cavison bloodline shall fall!
I'm sorry, the delivery of that line was incredible. Capital bloodline.
Yeah,
That-
not the greatest voice acting on this fight.
No.
Seven Sisters is free of the Cabal, but at a great cost.
Oh boy, that's funny. Yay! Mission complete. All right, yay! Glorious anthem. Well, that's incredible look sounding. You've gained the spark power ability. Ah, neat.
Ultimate ability.
Ah, gotcha. So you got your Q, you got your E, and now I have the ultimate. It's very very MOBA-esque.
A little bit, yeah.
So what are your final thoughts about like the game overall? Like I mean, it's pretty clear why this game didn't seem to hook in, but like I'm just curious as to how you feel about the way things ran and what happens next.
I don't know if I can really add anything that I haven't already said.
Sure.
I think it was a good game that would just launch too soon, and with work could have actually been something pretty good. I still enjoyed it. I'm having fun right now. If it was still alive, I would probably still play it occasionally. If someone comes up with a rogue server, I would be tempted to play. Hopefully they could manage some bug fixes, but yeah, like at the same time, I don't really blame people for giving up on it because yes, it is a broken dumpster fire of a game. All the like I said in my column a few months ago, all the right ideas, all the wrong choices.
Yep. Yeah, that seems like the it seems like a cryptic MO for some of their titles, I think. They have great ideas, so they just don't execute.
Yeah. I think there's time before the end of the stream. If you like, we could try to do another Benalia instance.
Yeah, let's go. Absolutely.
Let me just pick another build. What do I want to do?
Oops,
this
the AI is working again. Guess it was just hiding from Tyler. Yeah, they know who the weak link is, and it is definitely not him, that's for sure.
Watch out! The Green Warden wants our heads!
Alright, I'll try that tanky build I was talking about.
Sweet. I apologize for interrupting. I've been playing other ARPGs and just being able to move on the keyboard. It's just so much nicer. Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, one thing I liked about this game is that you could save different appearances with different builds, and that like included, like face and hair and gender and everything. So like this is the first game I've played that I think well and truly eliminated the need for alts.
Yeah.
Because you could have alts on the same character with the same progression, basically.
Nice.
I bring that up because this build is like a completely different character with a different look and backstory and everything.
Ah, that's cool. That's very cool. All right, here's hoping it actually loads me in.
Yeah.
Seems to be like the patching is working, but then again, that also visually appeared to be the case the last time, so we'll see. Probably gonna have to drop in and out again, I think. Alright, so diverting away from this game for a moment because it looks like it's crashed out on me again. What other stuff have you been playing a lot of recently?
I've been pretty heavy into New World since it launched. I am hitting the oft-reported level 30 wall a little bit, but I was still playing here and there. As of this week, it's all Age of Empires 4 all the time.
Yes,
Uh,
that's right. You were super excited for that game's launch. How's that been going for you?
I'm really enjoying it. But when it was first announced, after 15 years and with a different dev team, I was worried it was just going to be like some cash grab that's like Age of Empires in name only and completely unrecognizable. And then when I first played it, it was like the opposite extreme. I was like, this is like just 2 all over again. I was almost worried that maybe they hadn't changed enough, but as I'm getting into it, I'm seeing like a lot of subtle ways they've improved on the old formula. Like siege mechanics are so much better now.
Nice.
So I'm pretty impressed. It's not perfect, of course, nothing is, but I'm quite happy with it, and would recommend to any strategy fans or anyone who wants to start playing strategy games.
Really? I feel like a game that's in the fourth iteration of its series would not be exactly new player friendly.
Oh, I don't think so. Like they've made a really concerted effort to make this game new player friendly. In fact,
That was weird. That was like a super huge lag spike just then, I think.
hmm,
Hmm. Okay. Well, that happened. So as you were talking about how friendly, yeah, stream died for a second. Yeah, I saw the giant red light on my screen there. So I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think anybody heard anything you were talking about. I'm sorry.
okay, what did you hear last?
Well, I had asked the question about, the game being new player friendly, and you were starting to explain how, and then, well, it just all went kaput on my end. So I'm sorry about that. If you could repeat that point.
Yeah, so like they clearly made a quite a concerted effort to make it new player friendly. There's a lot of tutorials and tips, and like they did a really good job of making like the tooltips clear and such. I was actually a little frustrated as a veteran player. Like the first campaign is kind of low key a tutorial the whole way through, and like for a new player, I'm sure it's a good thing. For me, I was like, okay, can I, can the training wheels come off now? I know
Yeah,
how to play Age of Empires. I've played hundreds of hours of Age of Empires, but for a new player, it's probably a real good thing.
gotcha.
I was hoping to see you here. We sent a
We'll just skip the storyline because gonna move along here. That is an incredible looking outfit, I gotta say. Well, from what I can tell, that's
Oh yes, thank you.
it's a pretty dope look. Strategy
Yeah, the whole
games. I'm sorry.
stained glass armor thing for Benalia is quite an aesthetic.
Ooh, stained glass armor. Oh, that's cool. Hey, and the AI works. Okay, cool. So I'll have to actually be careful. Maybe. I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah,
die,
this
but
is one of my more OP builds, so although I don't think I have any heals on this one, so enjoy that.
fine. Well, that's fine. That's no big deal. It's fine. I'll be all right. I'll just hide behind your giant reams of zombies here. Strategy games are pretty
This
hit or
is
miss over the years. Like the Might and Magic series is radically different from game to game. That's what Hikari has to say. Speaking of RTSs, I'm picking up, and I'm dead again. I'm picking up Stellaris today during the Steam sale. Might not see me again for a few days. Kind of like how on my defeat screen I could still see the damage numbers flying up in the corner. That was interesting. Okay, I'm back to be absolutely useless again. You know, I'm just going to hang back and watch you do your thing, because clearly I'm not contributing.
ostensibly this is a tank build, so hopefully I should be able to pull aggro off you a fair bit.
traveler. The clerics
But
up
it all
ahead
depends
need
on
your
the
help.
card draw.
Right, that makes sense.
I think I have some passive taunt abilities, but I forget what triggers them. It's been a few months since I played last.
I just seem to be drawing aggro simply for being alive, so, that's the thing. Wow. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, there you are. Okay, I was trying to find you. There it is. It's an awful lot of chaos. I couldn't quite pick you out. Whoa. Okay, that was cool.
Yeah, the white spells especially are quite dramatic.
Yeah.
Very Wrath of God.
Yeah. That was definitely a Wrath of God-y looking thing, that's for sure. So this is the difference between what I would be doing and you doing, because I would be fighting things and you're just doing the Dark Souls run away from all the enemies to get to the final fight thing.
Yeah, again, most places they just keep respawning, so you kind of have to just cruise through to the objective.
Gotcha. Understood. Well, I'm about to die again. Probably should have added a death counter to this
I'm not good
game.
at tanking here.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm not good at just being here, so it's not your fault. You can totally blame me. It's cool. I actually waited until I completed my Alien dailies before packing up my computer so I don't miss a day. That's dedication. I like it.
Thanks, traveler. We'll help you bring down the wall up ahead.
I'm glad you're enjoying Alien. I didn't dislike my time in Alien by any stretch. It's actually a very, very fun game in terms of combat and its progression. I just really wish it had gotten and if you've read my preview, my first impressions piece, you'll know my opinion here. But it seems to sort of like shy away from all the stuff that could have made it unique and really stand out, like its setting as well as its progression systems. Like after a point, it feels like it stopped giving you stuff to progress. MJ needs to stream Alien so she can meet her pirate queen doppelganger. Oh, you mean the person who was totally not a turncoat, but absolutely you saw them being a turncoat? Yeah, I know who you mean. Ow. Ow.
We can find a break in the fighting, or I don't remember if you can change builds in instance, but I could change over to a healing build.
No, it's fine. I'll just die again. It's cool. I'll try to keep pace. It's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just like you said, the enemies are spawning a lot, and they just ignore whatever you're trying to do, every little bit you're trying to do, and they just they see me and they're like, kill.
Yeah, maybe shouldn't have done this on hard, but like,
That's fine.
I just figured on normal, like, even my creatures would just be one-shotting everything.
No big deal. I will get back to you in just a minute. I'm assuming you're that green arrow here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I can change builds mid-instance.
No worries. Oh no, this is where I last died, so I have to go this way. Got it. Okay. Game really opens up at level 36 as far as various side progressions. But the actual character level slows me way down. Ah, yeah, gotcha. Mary Cormer, yes, the red-headed pirate companion, yes. Cyrenide, thank you so very much for the tier 1 sub. Oh, wait, hold on, that's a gift. Hang on, that is a gift from Mike.Foster. Whoa, Mike, hello. Hi, how are you? Mike Foster is here with us. Outstanding. Hello, good to see you, and thank you so very much for the gift sub. That is incredibly cool of you. Thank you very much. Wow, that's the first time I've seen a gift sub in any of the streams that I've hosted. Outstanding. And of the people to do it. Oh, I should not have stood there. Good morning to you. Hello. Welcome. I'm trying to keep pace with Tyler and doing an absolutely terrible job of it. Oh, hey, I spawned next to you. Cool.
Yeah, I think... Oh, we just triggered a respawn point.
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
I just happened to... So now I've caught up. Yay. Alright, I'll try to keep you in view as best as I can. I got here late off of the league semis. Wow. Okay, how did those go?
Protect us!
I can't move my camera right now. That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's got like a, cinematic camera type ideally for this fight.
Gotcha. I'll throw a fireball or two. Hopefully that won't piss everybody off. I've done exactly just that. That was a bad idea. I'm sorry. No spoils, but a fun series. Outstanding. Very cool. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna... Whoa! What was that?
Oh, the sword?
Yeah, that.
I think it's called Vengeance or something.
That was incredible. Oh my goodness. You were not kidding about the white spells being extremely dramatic. My goodness. Ow. These are impressive spell effects, I gotta say.
Yeah.
So what's the idea behind this build, or it's red and white it looks like, I guess?
Yeah, I was going for basically like, you know, a paladin, basically.
Okay.
Sort of a holy fire theme.
Gotcha. Well, you definitely have the holy and the fire parts, that's for sure.
Paladins up there is one of my favorite fantasy archetypes, and I especially like fiery paladins. My Crusader in Diablo 3 was all fire damage. I've just never really gotten like holy damage as a concept. Like, I throw golden sparklies at them and they die. It doesn't make sense to me. So I like fire damage on my holy themed builds because that makes sense to me. Cleansed with holy fire. It's a good aesthetic.
I can agree with that. White is busted. Just ask Iona Avison. Ow.
The wall is almost down. Come
We'll get
here.
this healing glow up. There we go. I'm good.
It seems Sarah smiles upon
Okay,
us.
now I can move the
There's
camera.
no
Yeah.
time to rest. We need to retake the church up ahead so we can clear it of the Cabal's influence.
That guy sounded like he was running out of breath.
We have much left to do. Know that our voices go with you, praying for your success.
Oh, that's very kind of you, sir. Thank you. Alright, so we're into the Fallen Church. I have just unlocked a costume. A little too late for that, but that's okay. Whoa.
Whisper spoke highly of you, interloper. You cannot stop the corruption of this holy place. But you are welcome to try.
Traveler, step into the light.
I think he's right. It does seem like games have struggled to make holy damage as visceral as fire for us.
If you must. She cannot save you.
I have the same issue with arcane damage or like, you know, generic magic damage. I don't get it.
That's fair. And Agamith, or Age of Myth, Agamith, I'm sorry, Age of Myth, thank you for the $5 donation. That is the direct $5 donation. That is extremely kind of you. Why am I getting hurt? Oh, hello. Neat. Alright, let me get these glow. White magic is much like the very early days of magic. White weenie decks just overrun everything.
Travel deeper into the morass if you see Joseph.
We'll move along. Don't want to... Need to stop for the stories right now.
Yeah.
The
For those who care about magic lore, this is all just about hunting down Josu Vest because he's attacking Benalia again.
again, that sounds like a very tired admittance of what's going on. Like, again.
I mean, you know, he's undead, so I just kind of assume he does this like every 6 months and keeps coming back. Genuinely, I did like this story. Like, none of the stories in this game are really great, but, you know, of them all, I think Benalia was the best.
I mean, you don't need to have, like, life-changing narrative as long as it's just good, goofy fun. I'm totally for that, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a good description of Benalia. It's good, goofy fun.
Nice. Oops, I lost track of you again. There you are. I got you. I was avoiding the fire that you put down like it was gonna matter for some reason. I did something! Yay! Ow. Volcanic Legendary. Wow, that's a... those are two affixes. Wow. Yikes. It's interesting how you just saw like fire and forget with some of these minions. It's actually kind of amusing. Like, you, take care of this. We're going this way.
Rise, my knights! Destroy them!
Whoa, those are interesting looking. Hello, fellas. How are you? Oh, those are very large hammers. I'll stand near and blow up a few times. It's cool. There we go. Wow. Oh, there we go. I'm kind of astonished with the way this is all playing out. This feels very Diablo in terms of its aesthetic, that's for sure. First time. Ernest says dead game. Well, yeah, actually, technically, you are absolutely right. This is 100% a dead game.
Yes, for once the label actually is accurate.
Has a bit of everything. The cheesy goblin story, the mage academy where something isn't quite right, and the creepy old mentor lady who totally isn't going to betray us.
I am impressed by your persistence. You will have the honor of dying by my hand.
Rest in peace, Magic Legends. Long live V
Seek
Rising.
the light of Sarah. Use her power to defeat Josuves.
Okay. This is it. Boss time. That was a lot of restraint in Cryptic's part to not dive right into Eldrazi and never leave. I wish I knew what that was referencing. I kind of feel very lost on that regard.
I'm somewhat familiar. I did some reading on it. They're like basically like the Eldritch Cthulhu type stuff for the Magic the Gathering universe.
Ah,
Which
okay.
I think is a little bit of an oversimplification, but I
Gotcha.
think that's the general gist of it.
Okay, well, that's enough of a place setter for me. I get it.
I know tentacles are involved anyway.
Gotcha. This angel is just exploding constantly.
Yeah, that's an item I have. I also had it in the Exploding Zombies build. Orb of Shiv, whenever I summon a creature, it gets a version of the red spell where you have a shield and do AoE damage.
Oh.
So
You like
all
having
my
exploding
creatures-
minions. Oh, hello. Whoops. I was right in the middle of all that. Hi. This dude's arms are crazy. Or those swords? Okay, I thought that was that guy's arms. I thought he had like crazy crab claw arms. That was kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, that's more of a Ravnica thing, I think.
Call to your feeble goddess. She cannot save you now.
Oh, this dude who voiced this bad guy is chewing the scenery, and I am here for it. Ah, that was lovely. I enjoyed that immensely. Ow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this guy. They actually brought him back for like an event, like it was either like immediately before or immediately after they announced the shutdown. So that was weird.
I think Cryptic could have made a good MMO out of this, since they do quite well with existing IPs, but I think Wizards saw the success of Arena and wanted something more along that lines. Yeah, you know, that isn't actually, that sounds, or that feels accurate, I guess I should say. I don't know if it's actually accurate, of course. Do you agree with that assessment?
You've done nothing but earn my
I'm not sure I really, I'm not sure what's being said here. Like, if this is the argument that it should have been more of like a traditional, like, WoW style MMO, then I still personally disagree with that point of view. I think the design of the game was good, it was the lack of polish that killed it.
No, I think the idea was like that Wizards was hoping that this game would absolutely blow up like Magic the Arena did, and it didn't, and so they could put the kibosh on, as opposed to giving it time.
Yeah, that does sound pretty plausible to me, yeah. I would like to know whose idea it was to make it launch in the state it was, because it was so very clearly not ready for launch, and even by the standards of Cryptic jank, this game is a mess. Like, this is not even up to Cryptic standards, so yeah. Whose idea was to rush it out the door when they did? That's what I want to know.
will rise again.
In this stream, we learn about Tyler's management style.
You have defeated Josuves and freed Caligo.
It has a Souls-like quality to it, where you can dive in as deep as you want, putting together the disparate pieces. Yeah, that's fair. Wizard of the Coast is just killing the MTG appeal for me the last few years. That's sorry to hear that, Age of Myth. That's unfortunate. It's harder to support PvE compared to the infinite game loop of multiplayer, and publishers are running very harsh math lately. Yeah, I think you're right there. Well, I think that's a good point to stop it on. So, thank you so incredibly much, Tyler, for joining me. Do you have any last words, any goodbyes you want to say to the game?
I think I've said all I would want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to point out that, we only throwed off 3 of my 8 builds today. One of them, it was never really a great fit with mechanically. It wasn't my strongest build, but I did a build that was all about summoning wolves and werewolves, and I did save it under the name Hungry Like the Wolf. The world needs to know that.
Yes, absolutely agreed. The universe absolutely has to know that. Thank you for putting that out there. Thank you very much for joining me. Truly appreciate it. So where can the rest of the internet find you regularly? Besides MOP, of course.
My blog is at Superior Realities. If anyone plays D&D, I'm publishing a lot of content on the Dungeon Masters Guild these days, under Tyler FM Edwards. If you search up the Ashen Grimoire, that is a bundle of all of my subclass options to date, for a heavily discounted price. You can get a lot of cool stuff in there, especially if you like dark, spooky, and edgelord characters.
And it is Halloween, so, dark, spooky, and edgelord is kind of the watchword of this season, isn't it? And,
yeah, most of them are also currently on sale until tomorrow for the Halloween sale on DM's Guild. And if you go to my blog, you can get a discount code for my most recent release, the Dark Shepherd Patron for Warlocks.
Very nice. And rest indeed. I completely agree, Mike Foster. Rest in peace, Magic Legends. Sympathies to the fans. Thank you to the devs for doing what you could, even if it did feel rushed out the door. There were some really good ideas in this game. I really kind of wish I could have dug in a lot more, but it just never felt like it got fixed, and they just stopped, which is a real shame. It's an absolute shame. But anyway, thank you very much to everybody for joining in on this stream. We will be continuing on for the rest of the month of November, of course, with some fresh new streams. On Wednesday, November 3rd, I will be hopping into Elite Dangerous with at least one member of my Porg Squadron personal group. We'll see if maybe we can get the 3rd in with us as well. That's 12 noon Eastern. And then on Friday, the 5th, MJ is going to be live with some Adventure Quest 3D. That is going to be at 3 o'clock Eastern. And yes, you're absolutely right, Mike. On Sunday, November 7th, I will be hopping into Forza Horizon 5 for a little bit of that open world racing goodness. I love the heck out of Forza Horizon 4. I've read that this one is very much like that. I am extremely excited. I hope you'll join me for that at 12 noon. And thank you to everybody for doing everything you can to keep Massively Overpowered running, whether it is watching our streams or reading the content or doing something as incredibly generous as subscribing, donating to the stream, keeping the ads whitelisted on the website, or if you're one of our amazing Patreon donors. No matter how much or how little you do, everything you do is the fuel that keeps Massively Overpowered running. So thank you so much for joining me. A fond farewell, 07, and a salute to the Magic Legends game, and we'll see you later this week. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Happy and safe Halloween, and we'll see you next time. Bye!